Hello, Team Campus Focus TV. My name is Kenneth Gishiro, aka GK. I'm happy to be having this section with you about your questions. We have been asking us some questions regarding to our new channel, Campus Focus TV, and I promise to be having this section each and every month or twice a month, so that we can discuss some of your questions, so that I can give some of details you need to know about what we are doing. And tonight I'm privileged to have this section with you, and I'm happy that we are going to engage so that we can build a platform, because we are trying to build a platform for youth so that we can have a discussion, can have a dialogue, so that we can sort some of the issues which we have identified, some of loopholes or some of gaps that we think mainstream media can't be able to address, because these challenges are huge, these challenges are many, and in one way or another we have found a gap which we think we can fill. And with your help, we hope to assist our students in that way, because we will be discussing issues to do with talent, we will be discussing issues to do with businesses, business ideas, innovations. We will be discussing issues to do with CBC, new curriculum that is being implemented. We will be discussing issues to do with our environment and many other issues surrounding our education sector. So that entails everything that we are going to do on Campus Focus TV, because as it is about student welfare, as it is about student ideas, student issues, because as I have mentioned, there are many issues that we need to be addressing in one way or another, so that because we have passed through the system, we can see some of the gaps that are there, and in one way or another we can assist. So things to do with drug abuse, some of us have been victims of drug addictions or addictions of each and every kind. To be sincere, I have been a victim in education sector. Before I finished my education, I was a victim of betting, and I lost a lot of money. So I'm talking having that experience. So those are things that we intend to be doing here, and we are going to do them in a manner that is going to inform you, to empower you, and to entertain you. So without wasting a lot of time, let me go straight to the questions. But before then, please give me 1 minute to give a small history about myself. I was born and raised in Meru County, and I have schooled in Meru County in a village called Kaunjuge. That's where I was born. I went to school in a school called Kigarine Primary School. Later I joined Kanyakina High School. Later I returned back to Kigarine Day School. Thanks because of former President Mwai Kibaki, who introduced free primary schools and secondary schools, so that we could get a chance to education. And later I joined university, that is ZTech. Later I joined Nairobi University. Later I graduated and went to job market, and I joined Kenyatta National Hospital as intern, and later I got an opportunity to work on contract basis, and I worked there for 2 years in ICT department, in a branch that is in networking department, because ICT in that institution was independent into subdivision. We end help desk, we end networking, we end other sub-department within the major department. So I was working in networking and support. So I have gained some experience not only in ICT but in life matters and in things to do with this generation. So within that duration is when I came up with some ideas, and to some extent I was unable to implement them because some of them need attention, some of them need maximum time. We started a circle for youth, but it didn't succeed the way we wanted it to succeed. And the vision behind it was to empower youth, because we see that this country, the large percentage is youth generation, and they are passing through and moments. So my aim was to ensure that they have an opportunity where if it's business they could get some loans, if it's talent like music they could get money to reckon their talent. So although it didn't go to extent that we intended, my vision didn't die there, and I hope one day that vision of having a circle for youth is going to materialize. Then later I came up with another idea of having studios for talent youth, and I wrote a proposal which later in one way or another I shared with wrong people in one county. I was proposing that we should be having studios, free recording studios for youth and students, so that they can be able to have an opportunity to record their talent, because many of us, or many of students, or many of youths got talent, but they don't have that strength, those finances to ensure that they reckon those talents. So I went with that proposal to one of counties, and unfortunately it was stolen, and I'm happy. Although they stole that idea, they didn't steal my thinking, and I'm happy too, because they're implementing it, and I think to some extent it is going to benefit some youth. And to some extent I may caution that county that they shouldn't use that opportunity or that idea to siphon cash from county and benefit themselves, but they should focus on the idea of having studios for youth, going to the ground to each and every ward, doing auditions for all those talent. May it be music, may it be comedy, may it be poetry, so that they can get the best, and they, after audition, they get the best, they record the best, and they market those talent that they have recorded, and then they sell those talent, those music, those upcoming artists, upcoming comedians, and what they get, they share to those who were involved, may it be that studio and that talent. So it was an idea where both county and those young men could get an opportunity to do their hustle without much struggle. But that aside, the other idea I came up is this idea of newspaper, and I wanted to discuss issues to do with the student, and before we end a magazine in Kenya in education sector, it was called Insider, and it didn't. It was a nice magazine. It it was a magazine that mostly it was focusing on entertainment and other issues regarding what was happening in our schools. And I don't see it anymore, so I thought of having that kind of idea. But mine was not magazine, it was a newspaper, because I've seen this mainstream media, may it be Nation, may it be Daily Nation, or Nation, or may it be Standard, they don't mostly give the total focus to student. So I thought that I could start a newspaper which could focus totally to student issues, but also it didn't get where I wanted it to reach. But I am hoping maybe by next year everything will be fine, because after going to registration, I was discouraged, because I was told I was required to pay 1 million if that was for they were calling it a surety bond. And then I was told another million was to be paid if I didn't have my own publishing company, or publishing. I was not the one to publish those newspaper. If I was to outsource the publishing firm, that firm too was to pay another million. So it discouraged me, but it didn't block my intention. So my intention is there. So I engaged many people who I thought were resourceful. I talked to people who, my close friend, who I thought were of good advice. I talked to people like John Mwakazi. John Mwakazi gave me another advice. He told me I should focus on starting blogs. And in the process of starting to blog, then another idea came of online, of YouTube. So I thought, why shouldn't I join other YouTubers and start an YouTube channel where I could do whatever I wanted to do in newspaper online. And that idea excited me, and I sat down and wrote a proposal of my own to implement. So I'm right away implementing that proposal, and the proposal is what to some extent I will be discussing right now, about what we intend to do, about our vision, about our challenges and everything, our vision, everything concerning everything that you want to know. So without wasting much time, let me get into the questions that you have been asking us. The first question you have asked is, what is Campus Focus TV all about? As I have said earlier, the Campus Focus TV is all about student issues. We want to address issues to do with drug abuse, and to do with that, I will be expounding much further. I will be putting everything into perspective by ensuring that I cover what needs to be covered, so that you can understand what we are trying to do. So with drug abuse, we have partnered with an NGO called Yanda Kenya. Yanda Kenya is an NGO to do with drugs. It is Youth Against Drug Abuse. Yanda is an organization that was started here in Kenya by my friend who is called Dennis Mweti. Dennis Mweti is a officer at Meru prisons, and he was a drug addict, and he is recovering from the same, and he started this NGO to ensure that they address issues to do with drug abuse and addictions. So we have partnered with that organization, and much of our content previous, which we have posted in our YouTube, is focusing on drug abuse, and he is the guy who is preaching to schools concerning drug abuse, addictions, and trying to encourage those who are in drug abuse, those who are yet to get into it but can be swayed, can be enticed easily to get into drug. And he is going to be ensuring that we have minimum students who are using drug. Maybe I can say it's not possible to end everything, but we can ensure that Kenya education sector, we have minimum students who are using drug, because that is affecting our youths and their future. So to some extent, that's what we intend to do. So we have that NGO, we have partnered with it, and it is going to create content on that side. We have issues to do with the early pregnancies, early or premature relationships, early FGM. We are going to do with talent. That is a focus that I have passion for, because I know for sure we have talent here in Kenya, but they have not been given that opportunity. Youth have not been given that opportunity to showcase their talent, and those who had that opportunity maybe are those who are privileged to have finances, because if you are talented in music, you know music, to record a music and good music, you require much finance to ensure that you record a good quality music, video, audio. So we are trying to create a platform where they will showcase their talent and they will get assisted, because we are also advocating that each and every county to have a free recording studio for our youths, so that they can be able to start early, so that these talent are nurtured at early stage, because you can relate to nations that are developed like USA, like China, like Japan, because their kings start in a early age to nurture their children, and when they grow up, they grow with that process in them, and they perfect each and everything that they do. And that's why we see people like Messi, that's why we see people like Cristiano Ronaldo, that's why we see many talents which are there. And I've been watching, and I can relate to this online show or American Got Talent. These things can be done here too. Here too, we have talent that needs to be given opportunity to be nurtured, and to given that opportunity to thrive. So that's what we intend to do, to have a conversation with every kind of person who is interested in this thing, because I know for sure if we give this student that opportunity, they can do exploit, they can do marvelous, they can do things that we never imagined can happen to our continent. Look at the country like Nigeria. Nigeria perfected in these Ninja movies, and the last time I checked, they are earning over 55, I think, billion every year, every financial year, 55 billion coming from that kind of small generating revenue channel. What if we at all target to tap those kind of talent that are in schools? So it is my submission to you that if at all we want to transform our country to be a developed nation, we should encourage our students to do this kind of innovation that they try to do without any kind of support. Because I remember we used to go for science congress, but we couldn't do much, because after going to those competition, they died in maybe provincial level, and even if the idea was so appealing, so unique, that it could transform our country, our continent, it didn't get much attention. We want to give attention to those who are in STEM, who are trying to do sciences, and sciences are there to do things in our continent be much alike to things that are happening in developed continent, because with science and technology I think we can transform Africa, and Africa can be another continent to watch out, because if at all Africa is not about corruption, it's not about under financing our education sector, our agriculture sector, I think we can do much more. So let us focus on giving this student much more focus, and I think we can do much about our country. So the second question is about why should you subscribe to Campus Focus TV? So many people have been asking me what is Campus Focus TV about, why should they subscribe to it, and the direct answer that I should give, or I could give, is that we want you to be partners with us, because this journey that we have started needs you and needs everyone on board, because you may not be a student, but you may be a parent. You may not be a parent, but you may be our brother who is in school, and you need the welfare of that child, or that brother of yours, or that child of yours, or that person, that neighbor of yours who is in school, to get an opportunity to develop the talent that he or she has, so that they can do what they were meant to do in this life, because each and everyone has been given an opportunity by God to perfect something that God has in various or has given us various talent and ideas and purpose in this life. So to realize that purpose, it needs each and every one of us to support it in one way or another. If your child is talented in music, in football, let us nurture that talent so that it can fully grow to its maximum potential. So we need you on board. So subscribe to this channel, and we can, without any fear or any doubt, that we are going to be part of transformers in this nation by ensuring that we are giving students a voice, because to some extent they've been voiceless. So this is a voice for students. This is a voice for those talents that have been wasted because of not focusing on them. So be with us in this journey. So subscribe, give us ideas of what you want us to do in Campus Focus TV, and we can assure you we will listen to you, and we will walk this journey with you, listening to you and implementing what we can do. The other question is about what you expect from Campus Focus TV. You can expect many things from us, from drama that we are going to do from our schools, from our campuses. We use the name campus intentionally, not to mean that we are going to focus on campuses, on universities alone, but we are going to do anything to do with our education sector. So you can expect us to be covering content to do with our kids, talent to do with our kids, anything that involves kids, we are going to nurture them in that early stage. And you may ask us, how are we going to do it? But with time, everything is going to manifest itself. So to some extent, we may be having small little content about kings. But as we continue to engage you and to get more ideas from you, we are going to do much more than talent, more than education concerning those kings. We may set academies, talent academies. We may do much more than what we have started today, or what we are trying to do, to primary schools, to secondary schools, to colleges, that is polytechnics, that is colleges, that is Tibet, and to our universities. So we are going to cater all the levels in our education sector, and to ensure that if you are not interested in kings issues, we will ensure that we have to start with, we will have one channel, but we may create different playlists for kings, playlists for primary school, for secondary school, for colleges and universities. So in the future, we intend to ensure that each and every category of our education sector has its own channel. But because we are starting, we want to do one thing at a time. We want to grow this channel first, and when it has grown to some extent, then we can start doing some sub-segment of the major segment, because our major segment is education, but in different levels. So in near future, we will have sub-segment to do with those levels of our education system, then different issues that we will be doing. We don't want to mix everything, but to some extent we will try to, as possible, to create different things, because some are interested in comedy, some are interested in music. So you try our best to play those kind of playlists, so that we can separate the content from one another. So that's what we intend to do. You can expect much more. You can expect drama, you can expect comedy, we can expect soon we'll have auditions of talent that we have in our schools. So you can expect much more, and we want to partner with you. I have a team of I'm not working alone. I have a team of 10 members, and I will ensure that I will have a team of 47 members to present 47 counties. So each and every county will be represented. So you can expect much more where there is diversity. So there will be that diversity, and each county has its own maybe traditions. So you can expect much more from maybe Kisumu, from maybe Mombasa, from maybe Meru, from maybe Nyeri, and other counties, Nairobi. So you can be expecting much more, because I am convinced that this education sector got many potential that is going to explode in a manner that no one expected. That's what I believe, and that's what I am going for. And I know when I start something, I don't lose focus, I don't lose hope, and I know it is a challenging event. It is a challenging moment ahead of us, but I know with a team that is dedicated to ensure that we are giving voice to our talent, to our student, everything is going to work. I have no doubt about that. So the other question is about challenges that we are encountering. One of the challenges is that we don't have equipment. We don't have equipment to have quality videos, quality content, but we can assure you our quality will at all be at least. We will give you the best that we can afford, and we will improve each and every day, each and every time. We will focus on that to ensure that you get and you get information, you get empowerment, and you get that entertainment that we are trying to give you. So much more is coming on the way, and we will be discussing much more each and every month, each and every maybe month or twice a month. The other question is about drug abuse, because I think this question came because we have learned much more about drug abuse and nature things. We have learned things to do with drug abuse because when we started, we didn't have much content, but in the future, as we go forward from tomorrow, we are going to have different content to do with other things, to do with talent, to do with discussion or interviews from various schools. One of our hosts will be a student in Kenyatta University. Another is in Multimedia University, and we will ensure that we have different representatives from different universities and schools around Kenya. And one who was asking about why we have focused on drug abuse, that was because when we started, we didn't have much more content, and the NGO you have partnered with and already content to do with the drug abuse. That's why we posted much more content on drug abuse and to do with nature, because to some extent we are product of nature, and to some extent nature relaxes, nature to some extent soothes our emotions, to some extent cools down our stress. So to some extent we will be doing some nature event or wildlife things so that we can embrace tourism in our country. The other thing is, were you a victim of drug abuse or addictions? The same person who was asking about why we are focused on drug abuse was trying to maybe think that maybe I was a victim of drug abuse. No, I've never been a victim of drug abuse, but I've been a victim of addictions. And way back when I was in Kenyatta National Hospital, when I started job there, this friend of mine, we live in the same plot in, and like many people, I was enticed to join betting, and I was let's say trapped in that trap, and for years, more than let's say more than 3 years, I have struggled in that addiction, and it is not a good feeling. Addiction is a disease, and to some extent, people who are in addiction, let me expound on that, are people who are sick and need guidance and counseling, and need a person to assist them who has that kind of specialization. So to some extent, it is a feeling that have taught me that addiction is not all about alcohol, because to some extent when I was growing up, my dad was drinking alcohol, was alcoholic, and I was furious. I was more angered about his behavior, but to some extent later I came to realize that any kind of addiction is a disease, and those who are in that kind of disease need to see a doctor so that they can be guided, so that they can be cured from that disease. Because to be sincere, I've lost more or almost 1 million from gambling, because the total amount that I have worked in Kenyatta National Hospital, almost everything went to gambling. I could gamble 30,000 in a month. I may sound foolish, but to some extent, that is a disease which need a cure, because I know many students are in that kind of addiction, and many have gambled even their school fee. Many have wasted their parent resources Even me, I wasted my own resources and resources of my family, my member families. I it resulted me getting into debt, which even to date I have not completed paying. But the consequences of our mistake is owning up and doing what is necessary. So I'm sorry for those who I caused all that pain, because to my family I caused a lot of pain, because to some extent when you gamble everything, when you don't have rent, you don't have anything to eat, you resort to them to give you money, you resort to your friend to give you loans which to some extent if you have that disease, you may be able, you won't be able to pay. So I'm sorry, I own up my mistake. I will pay until the last dent to anyone I owe, and I'm doing it each and every month. When I started this journey, I thought I was trapped the way I couldn't get out of it, and I'm getting out of it stronger, and I've learned many lessons. So you too, in that addiction that you have that faith that you get out of it. But remember, own up your mistake and pay for your mistake, because even in sins, you see, even in the biblical way, those who sinned against God, even if they were so close to God, they paid for their mistake. So paying for mistake doesn't mean you shouldn't do the right thing. Pay for your mistake, but do the right thing by correcting those mistakes and trying to shine some light for others to do the right thing. So yes, I have been addicted of betting, but I'm healing, and I will get out of it completely, because I know it's a disease which, if you don't focus on getting out of it completely and focusing on other things that are dear to you, you can get back to this kind of addictions. So I will be explaining more when I go to those schools, so that our children can resist these diseases, that is drug abuse. This is addiction to do with betting and other kind of addictions. Let me finish by two questions about host. Yes, who are the hosts? And that is a surprise that we are going to give you. So I have said we have some in KU. We have someone who will be doing something to do with talent, because he is a musician. She is a musician, and he is the right person to interview people with talent, concerning talent, because that are few. So we have many people, teachers. We have two teachers who are going to help students and government implement this CBC in one way or another, because they are stakeholders in one way or another, so they can give some advices here and there, and with this this platform it can reach many. Our vision for the next 1 year is that we intend to reach all 47 counties. We intend to monetize this channel so that we can have finances to go to each and every county, because we require money to be able to travel to those schools. So we require you to work this journey with you, and in 5 years we intend to ensure that 47 counties have 47 recording studios for free for the talent that we have, may be us or county government. We are trying to advocate for 47 free recording studios for our students. That is the thing we want to engage with others, so that we can create those studios for our youth. And in 10 years, we intend to ensure that we have gone out of this country to East Africa and Africa, because we want to transform Africa, because when Kenya is transformed, then we can be resourceful to other countries like Africa, and then we can borrow what is they implementing, like developing countries or developed nations like South Africa. we can learn much more from the education system. Nation like Ethiopia, like Morocco, like Nigeria, and other countries like Uganda. We can learn one or two, and these two are our partners in one way or another. So we intend to reach Africa, and we will have a channel for Africa education for student and youth. So one last thing I want to say is that we will be focusing on not only on student but on youth, and in this direction we want to focus on youth, and I may ask youth who have reached that age, who have reached over 18 years, they should go and register and have votes, because in 2022 election, what we have two kind of candidates that we need to decide our future on, because it is all about people who are going to continue corruption and people who are going to give our country another chance to rebirth, to rebirth, so that we can be a new nation where our aspirations, where our visions, where our those we call fathers who started this nation and envisioned us to reach. And we don't want to continue in this kingdom that have been building for few individuals who have been colonizing us, and ensuring that each and every opportunity is for them and for their families. So we want a country that is going to transform, and it is possible to do that if you have a vote. So decide to take a vote, register, and be part of a transformation that is coming in 2022. We don't want the state. We don't want this corruption, land corruption, to continue in our nation. So be part of that transformation by voting out those leaders that have been doing all this manner of let me say new colonization again to our country. So we want everyone to be given an opportunity, and we think we have all the capability to transform this nation if at all we have that transformation, and you know the right person to do that transformation. And I thank you. I ask you to subscribe to our channel. I want to invite you for this discussion so that we can transform our country and transform our education system. And when we have a strong education system, then you can expect much more to come out of this young generation if we insert good memory or good moral or good hope in them. Then they will grow with that kind of potentials that they have, and they will implement those kind of visions, those kind of innovations that they have. So without saying much more, let me salute you and everyone who have been part of this transformation. I won't forget my mother, who has been praying for me and giving me encouragement, my family members, Nelson, Dennis, Florence, and everyone who have been part of this journey. That is Boniface, that is Purity, that is Eric Mugambi, and many another Washington Mugambi, and I can't mention all of you. Please continue to be part of this journey, and I know we are going to transform this country in one way or another. Thank you.